So we have everything sorted, we have it rated, we have color settings, we have all of that stuff done. And now we want to get our images out of Lightroom. So you may remember that I told you that Lightroom is a non-destructive editing program, meaning all of these things and changes and stuff that we do are tagged to our images, are associated with our images, but are not applied to our images. They're not applied until we actually get our images out of Lightroom. So what we're going to talk about now is getting our images out of Lightroom. So the way that we get our images out of Lightroom is with the export button down here. So what I'm going to do is come into my favorited photos. Let's see, my assignment 1 pics. And I'm going to say, these are the 5 that I need to export for my assignment. So I'm going to come into my collection where I have them. I'm going to shift click again to select them all, or Command A to select them all. If I wanted to deselect them, I could do Command D, which would deselect, Command A to select all. And then I'm going to say export. And this comes up. And you might think, oh my gosh, it's really not that bad. It's just a box that's going to walk us through all of the settings that we need to apply to our images when we're sending them out. So I'm going to export them to a specific folder, and I'm going to choose that folder right here by clicking on choose. And what I'm going to choose is I'm going to actually choose the folder, the pictures folder, outside where my Lightroom catalog and my main exists. And I am going to, I'm just going to choose that folder, and I'm going to say choose. And then I'm going to say put in a subfolder, and I'm going to call it assignment 1. So now it's going to put it in the pictures folder, and then it's going to put it inside of a subfolder. You can tell it to add it to this catalog, which doesn't make any sense because they're already in there. Leave this as the default. Ask what to do if it finds the files already exist there. The next thing down is to rename them. And we're going to rename them. So I'm going to put my name. And then I'm going to put assignment 1. And then I'm going to put a dash. And I'm going to let it put a sequence of numbers after it. I'm going to have to, oh, don't put the dash because it automatically puts it in. I'm going to have to go and sort of add some more information to these file names so that they're named correctly for my assignment that I'm exporting. Now, because the first assignment, I want you to name them 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B, 3A, 3B. There is a way to do a custom name and to edit it and to add all that information. But for those 6 files, it's just as easy to go into the Finder and rename them there. So I'm just going to kind of let it do assignment 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for mine. The next thing down is we want to choose JPEG. We want to put our quality all the way up to 100. We want to set our color space to Adobe 98 RGB. We're not worried about limiting the file size because the next thing down is we're going to resize these to fit. And you want to choose long edge, which means the longest dimension of your photo. We want to make that 1500 pixels at 7200 pixels per inch. That will give us an image that will look fine on the screen, not take up too much space, should display nicely in the discussion that you're going to post it to. Do not do any sharpening to it. We'll talk about sharpening later. Make sure it includes all your metadata. I want to see your metadata. I want to see what you've done to your images as far as the metadata goes. That's part of your grade, is to show me your metadata. We're not going to do any watermarking, so you can leave that one off. Post-processing, you can have it show it in the Finder, so you can have it automatically go to where it is in the Finder. Open it in Photoshop, open another application. That's up to you. That's not necessary at all. Once you have all these settings in, we're going to use these same settings for most of our assignments. And so now you can just hit the Add button down here and create a preset. So I'm going to call it the assignment export. and it's going to put it in our user presets, which is right over here. And now whenever we come in here, no matter what these settings are, if I click on assignment export, it'll automatically set it up for this. I'm going to have to change the folder name and my file name because it's going to be assignment 2 or assignment 3 or so on and so forth. Once I have all these settings done, I click export, and you'll notice up here in the upper left, it says export 5 files. And this progress bar will fill and it'll export all of my files. So once my files are exported, it actually puts them in the folder inside of my Finder. So I'm going to go back out to my Finder and go to my pictures folder, and you can see that it's created assignment 1 and it's put my 5 images in there. And all I would have to do is come in here and say 1A, and then I'm going to make this one 1B, and I can just go on and continue to rename all my photos, and then they're ready to upload to the discussion on Canvas.